G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. 17th of May. It's either going to be a replay of an old first Moondog or it's going to be a continuation of The Outsiders. I just don't know.
Love it. I love this, and I love our listeners. So, keep tweeting.
Sorry, dog fans. We're going to keep talking right until 10 o'clock. He'll be back in a couple of weeks. Don't fret. Things will go on.
It's a bad week to go away.
Speaking of dogs, you know where I'm going now, Mr. Martin. We did, of course, have the kerfuffle this week around Johnny Depp's dogs, Little Pistol and Boo. Barnaby Joyce was front and centre in that conversation, and then Barnaby had a chat with Kyle Sandilands.
What I'm saying is, you sound like an absolute clown telling the guy to bugger off back to Hollywood or we'll kill his dogs. You sound like an idiot. You should have reworded your statement. Sound like a classy guy. You're a government minister, not some idiot off the street mouthing off to a news camera. Have some decency.
This Kyle, it seems interesting coming from you, mate. You're the number one.
Shut up, Barnaby. You're an absolute joke, Barnaby. You get 5 minutes on the radio in the news camera. I'm going off because you sound like an insensitive wanker. That's what you sound like, Barnaby.
Peter Martin, what do you think of the state of contemporary Australian public discourse?
Pass. Hey, look, no, I should say this. I should say this. And there's a website with this exact title. Barnaby is right. No, of course there is. And I've met the guy who called Barnaby is right. Actually, he's not Barnaby. Barnaby's never heard of him. He's just a fan. But look, we need to keep. Okay, compare refugees. Compare people to dogs or diseases on bananas. As far as dogs who might have diseases on bananas, we need to keep them out. One of the great things Australia has is that it's an island and we're able to do things that others can't for that reason. If we can't do this,
I know.
If we can't, I mean, what else can we do? But people are quite different. So long as people are disease free, they're actually useful. We actually need people. So I'm fully with Barnaby on this. I wish you'd apply it more generally to
I could see the principle there. And yet, Lauren, for a few moments there last week, we were going to kill Johnny Depp's dog.
We were going to kill Johnny Depp's dog. But that said, I don't know, it would have made a fantastic episode of Border Control or Border Security, whatever it's called. Instead of having endless processions of people coming through trying to smuggle through a casserole, here we've got Boo and Pistol in the back of the fancy jet. Beautiful story.
Was this a distraction, do you think, Sinclair?
I have to say, the apocalypse is upon us. I never ever thought I would agree with Carl Sandilands. Yeah, look, it's.
You don't want to kill Boo and Pistol?
No, I think having a minister of the crown telling people to bugger off or we'll kill your dogs is
but if you're the sexiest man alive twice.
Oh no,
sexiest man alive.
No, Barnaby is not. Look, I understand the arguments about the disease and bananas and what have you, and I think
they were somewhat lost in Barnaby's execution.
Yes, it is far. Our quarantine regulations I suppose, are important. I think they're far too onerous. We saw $14 a kilogram bananas a few years ago. Because of this, we now threaten to kill people's dogs. It is certainly not a good look.
Maybe we should just
not wise.
Kill their bananas instead.
Yes. Yes, he shouldn't have brought them into the country, but more or less there are ways and means. Certainly, a minister of the crown has people who actually say, "Mr. Depp, please remove your dogs from the country." He doesn't do it himself.
Can I say
there's going to be a public execution of Boo and Pistol.
Our listeners were right. Yes, the Gold Coast too. I think our listeners were right in having us extend this conversation. They were richly rewarded. My thanks to Sinclair Davison, Professor of Economics at the RMIT, to Peter Martin, Economics Editor of The Age, and to Dr. Lauren Rosewarne, political scientist at Melbourne University, writer and social researcher. And that's it for us. That's it for our Red Sunday Extra today. We now have been taken out and shot by Barnaby Joyce. If you missed anything, the podcast is available. But better than that, I dare to say this, or perhaps as an adjunct to that, you can get us the last hour of this program on SoundCloud. Just have a look there and you will find it. This week's show produced by Elizabeth Coulis, Claudette Worden, senior producer Seppel Shinomish, Matthew Crawford does the birds, Mark Veer and Kerry Dill.
Well, there we go. And seeing as it's been sitting there for the whole of the show, I thought I might just demonstrate.
Very interesting Australian cultural icon. You got to stick around. It's amazing.
It works, Kimo Sabi. I think it's about a 1973 vintage National Panasonic wrist radio. How cool is that? Okay. In the time left to me, I thought it might be an interesting idea if I address this business of Johnny Depp and his dogs. Now, it's not often that I actually agree with Barney Baby Joyce. Barney Baby Joyce is the Minister for Agriculture. He's also my local Member of Parliament, and I went to school with his big brothers. The school was a low-cost Catholic boarding school for working-class people. And that's the kind of family that Barney Baby Joyce comes from. But the school closed in 1974, and Barney Baby was too young to have ever gone there. So while his brothers may have grown up as blue-collar working-class Catholics with all of the right value systems, Barney Baby Joyce got shipped out to St Ignatius Riverview, where he rubbed shoulders with a buff-headed boxing blue called Tony of the Abbott variety. So that's kind of Barney Baby in a nutshell. He could have been a nice dairy farmer, but he went to Riverview instead. Australia's quarantine laws go something like this. If Johnny Depp really wanted to bring his dogs into Australia, he should have done what the people who were making Fury Road did with their American dogs. That is to say, 7 months before you want to visit Australia, you visit your vet and you get the dog vet checked and you get blood pulled to see if the dog's got rabies. And then you come back a month later and have the dog vet checked again and have more blood pulled and see if it's got rabies. And you give it a vaccination against rabies anyway. Then you wait until it's 45 days before you're ready to come to Australia, and you go to the vet and you get it checked for leishmaniasis and about 15 other things, and you get a few vaccinations, and then you wait until it's 5 days before you're ready to come to Australia, and you go to the vet and you finish getting your export paperwork and all the rest of it. Then you get on the Hairy-Go plane and you fly to Australia and you say to the customs, I've got this dog and I've got a pile of paperwork that equals the weight and the mass and the volume of the dog. And the customs people look at that and they say to you, that's great, mate. Give me your dog, and they stick it in a quarantine facility in either Brisbane, Sydney or Melbourne. And once you put it in there, it's 10 days at $149 a day, so like $1,500 worth of motel bills for your pet dog. And then your dog is considered fit to run around on the ground in Australia. There are cases where a dog gets all of the paperwork, arrives in Australia, goes into quarantine, and then it starts frothing at the mouth or developing the leishmaniasis or the distemper or the whatever it is that we were worried about in the first place. So the system is actually good and it actually works. And for those people who think it's way too onerous, it used to be $50 a day for 30 days, right? So it's the same fee and you get the dog out in 1/3 of the time. So it's actually fairly streamlined. Now, the really funny thing is, it's totally normal to euthanize animals that are brought in without an import permit and without all of that paperwork. So Barney Baby Joyce was 100% within his rights. He did the right thing. He also blew it up into a global viral issue, so everybody else understands that even if you are a filthy, rich, fat cat, trendy, money-grubbing arsehole like Johnny Depp, you still have to go by the customs procedures. What he did was he stuck his pet dogs on the back of his bloody private jet. He flew into a domestic airport. He got one of his factotum flunkies to carry the dogs in a bag, and he was in the country with the bloody things for about 3 weeks or so before he took them to a poodle grooming parlour, and the dickhead at the poodle grooming parlour was so rapt at having Johnny Depp's bloody dogs that he tweeted it and put it on Facebook, and aren't I great, I've got Johnny Depp's dogs to, comb their toes or whatever he did. And therefore, the news got out. The funny part is, when Johnny Depp took them out 10 hours before they were due to be euthanized, he was taking them, I don't know where. If he took them to America, he's going to have all that same paperwork, because in America it takes 8 fucking months to get your dog in, not 7 months like it does in Australia. And I think the US Homeland Insecurity Department may have a choice between accepting a bribe from Johnny Depp to let his dogs run wild and put at risk every sniffing dog and every security dog in the entire Homeland Insecurity, Customs, Police, Prison, private security network, because, you know, Johnny Depp's dogs have been running around with no paperwork outside of America for nearly a month. I think the Americans will probably shoot his dogs as soon as he tries to bring them into America. That's not our problem. It wasn't any Australians who took his dogs out of America without the export paperwork that would allow them to get back into the country. That was Johnny Depp. Which brings me to this business of the bloody budget and the idea that any small business, if they're an incorporated entity, if they've got a company to run their business, their tax rate's going to drop from 30% to 28.5%, and they'll be able to write off from the tax the company pays, not from the GST the company pays, not from the personal income tax that the managing director and chief executive officer of the company is paid by the company. He still gets to pay, or she gets to pay, their tax. The company still gets to pay the GST, but at the end of each 3 months, you add up how much the company's spent in terms of wages and rates and electricity and insurance and advertising, and buying new equipment, all the rest. Add all that up and put it against what you took in through the till, and you've got the company's actual profit for the quarter. Now, I know a company that cost the bloke $400,000, and in the first 3 months, I think it made $180, and in the second 3 months, it made $120. On that $180 or $120, he was going to have to pay 30% tax. Well, $36, or $50, it's not a whole lot of money. You're certainly not going to be able to go out there and buy yourself a $20,000 quad runner and write that off against the tax the company was going to pay, because the whole idea of having a company when you're running a small business is the company never makes enough of a profit to pay much bloody tax. Because every time it looks like it's going to make a profit, you buy something for the company and expand the bloody company, and you write the incipient profit off against the expenditure. So that was a complete shell game where there was no fucking P under any one of the 3 cups. There's not going to be any boost to the local economy as a result of small businessmen being able to write money off against the tax that they weren't going to pay because their company's set up not to make a paper profit. Just shows how fucking out of touch Joe Hockey and his uni-diversity educated morons are from what the accountants who went to the same university but just in a different bloody department have got all of the small businesses doing. Almost nobody's a sole trader. You buy a shelf company and it has 2 shares, and the proprietor of the business owns the shares in the company. And then the company pays them a wage, and then they pay individual PAYE tax on their wages, as do their employees. But the company pays no tax. So, there we go. As you may have guessed, it's cold and inclement and nasty outside. So, because this week's broadcasts have been from inside the hut. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. I hope you've enjoyed it. Ciao.